Hey traders, it's Paul here. It's Monday, 2nd of July, so we're now into second half of the year. So there's a bit of a chance for us to do a little bit of analysis and also have a little bit of look at what's going on and what's happened. And I'll chat about some of the trades I've taken and some of the trades I've missed. So anyway, here we go. Let's start with the calendar. Always want to know what's coming up in the week ahead of me. So we had the Mexican general election there over the weekend. The big left boy got in. So we'll have a look at the peso and see what effect that's had on that. Really looking just at the high elements. So we've got ISM this late this afternoon, but really I'm looking towards FOMC meeting minutes. Carney speaking on Thursday, and then we've got non-farm payrolls on Friday. So you want to be aware of those. Let's have a little look at the stamp. Okay, let's look at the weekly change. All right, that's probably start off there. So weekly change this week, kind of interesting to note is that whilst US dollar stayed strong, it's got a full house. Actually, Swiss franc has worked its way up there into second. It's overcome yen. Yen's had a little bit of a slip. The thing I am aware of, or noted, is that these days dollar, Swiss franc, yen can all be seen as safe havens, and they're the three strongest currencies. So what is that? What is that telling us about the state of the world? What is everybody interested in? If your three main safe haven currencies are your three strongest currencies, is that a case of people getting ready for something big coming, or is it just literally a case of they're parking their money for the summer before they all clear off to the south of France for a few months on their boats and yachts and stuff? The lucky so and so's. So anyway, take a note of that. Comdols are still bottom of the pile. Sterling slipped. Sterling and euro just switched places there in the middle of the block. You just look at the euro sterling chart. We'll have a look at that in a moment. That'll tell you all you need to know about why pound and euro are just in the middle of the block. So they're just arsing about basically. So you've got Brexit rumours all over, and then of course you've got problems in Germany. I think your man has resigned this morning, so that that'll wait a little bit. But we'll look at that all in good time. So why don't we switch to some charts? Let's have a look at dollar index. What's that doing? Right, so here we go. Let's zoom out here. Dollar index. Let's just get rid of that for the moment. All right, dollar index. Okay, starting point for everyone if you're in the FX markets. Right, weekly chart. Right, rallied up. 95 has acted as a resistance. I was under the impression that perhaps we would drift down back towards around about 92 zone. Okay, form ourselves the right shoulders of an inverse head and shoulders before moving north. That's my scenario. We'll see how that plays out. Okay, that's what just looking at what I see there. If I go down to the daily chart, okay, and it gives us a bit of an idea. So what I was interested in was last week. Here we go on the daily chart, is that once again we peaked our nose above 95 but couldn't close, right? And what I actually did is it portrayed it gave us you could call that bearish pin bar, an engulfing candle. It's a key reversal candle, so I was kind of intrigued to sort of see how price would react when it got up to there. Now, I don't trade the dollar index, but I do use it as an indicator of A, dollar strength or weakness, and B, what's going on with the euro. So sometimes you'll see me draw in these kind of blue rectangles, pale blue rectangles. That's just me. It's a reminder for me to look at how does price react between that kind of 50 to 62 zone on it if there's a pullback. So as I said, I don't actually trade dollar index, and it's a good job I don't, because if I'd have been shorting here, I suspect you'd have been just snaffled out a little bit when price put in this just new high by the skin of its teeth on Thursday. What was that? 95.21 high, 95.24. So it went about 3 pips above before it. So yeah, if you traded it, you might go away with that, you might not. But what it did do then is put in that that's an evening star formation. So we've hit 95, we've had a key reversal followed by quite a strong evening star formation. Okay, there. So it's to me that looks like people taking a bit of a breather on the dollar myself. Okay, so just bear that in mind. We'll have a look at euro dollar in a moment. As I said, sterling is it's not a massive amount of interest. Okay, the pound dollar, the only thing I've put in there is that we've had now 2 weekly pin bars there. Okay, so there's for whatever reason there's a support just above kind of 131. All right, whether that'll hold is another question entirely. What I'm looking at realistically here on pound dollar is a case of if it slides through there, is okay, slides through 30, then we're in a strong bearish, or alternatively is it a case that we might get a little bit of a flip up, right, before it comes down to create an inverse head and shoulders there. If I zoom out a little bit there, okay, and we're looking to see where we get a flip up there. That's the scenario. But want to have a look at pound against yen. Okay, on the weekly chart, there's not really actually that much there, but I'm wondering whether that's a weekly 1, 2, 3 formation that's setting up there. Okay, but there's lots of wicks there, right, and doesn't look terribly attractive on the daily chart. Pound against Swiss, so what we've had is sterling falling away whilst the Swiss has been strengthening, and that's kind of played out a little bit there. It's just effectively with the daily 200 has acted as really nice daily dynamic resistance there as prices fall down. The 4-hour chart, there was a bit of a pinball there towards the end of the last week. Okay, the thing that kind of maybe concerns me a bit is there's a lot of these wicks to the downside. Okay, a lot of the wicks there, so just keep an eye on that. Pound Aussie, pound Kiwi, pound CAD. Okay, they're all weak, but then the sterling has been weakening as well, so it doesn't really excite me there. Okay, that's pound against New Zealand dollar has gone nicely on the 4-hourly chart, but that's more just an indication of New Zealand dollar is just getting had a bad week last week, and we'll touch on that. Euro, sterling. All right, let's just look at this on the weekly chart. All right, so euro and sterling are they're kind of swapping places, 5th and 4th, 4th and 5th on the strength matrix. And if you just look at it there, really, there's nothing going on there at the moment. Okay, it's just it's everyone's just sat there waiting at that kind of 8750, 8850. That's the range it's set in there. So I'm not really interested at the moment whilst it's done that. So if you wanted to look at maybe shorter term trades intraday, okay, trading that range, you might be able to, but the challenge you have with euro sterling at the moment is it's so politically driven. Okay, something comes out, a little bit of news gets released, then you can get a real liquidity spike somewhere one way or the other, and that's that you're going to be on the wrong side of that. So let's have a look at euro dollar. All right, we've had a look at dollar index, euro dollar. Okay, lovely move there. Okay, that was that lovely boat. We talked about that for months. Okay, coiling up, falling away. I actually thought we'd drift back up around about sort of 119, 120, 21. Okay, as I said on the daily, on the dollar index, sort of that just creates the kind of the right shoulder of a much bigger head and shoulders pattern. But the price action's been scrappy. Now we did have a bit of a weekly key reversal there, but it's I want to see weekly key reversals up here, all right, up the end of uptrends. When I'm getting it at the after a good strong downtrend, I wonder whether that's the kind of the last people to the party. And I've actually had a couple of little long euro dollar trades here. Okay, a little bit of a sort of a double bottom there around that 115. So what I was intrigued was this is here we go. If I got it on the zoom out a bit, perhaps this green block is like it's a bullish order block. Okay, I'm expecting there to be like a bullish reaction there. Okay, which is it's also just above the kind of 115 level. I'm already intrigued when I see it price going down there. And then what happens is, when price gets down there, I see in the same way we had that key reversal day on the dollar index, and we also had one on the euro dollar, a nice bullish key reversal, pin bar, engulfing candle from the day before. And once again, what I did, I was drew in this kind of like little 50% thing. I had an order there of about 15, just in front of 1570, about 1570. I've got a stop there 1490. My target's back up around about kind of 119, 12 to 120. Okay, so that gives me about. It's about just over. Gives about what's that? That's 83. It's getting towards like 4-1 trade on that. Okay, but I'd be interested in seeing how that at about 1750 if it gets up there, how it does there, and what happened. A bit like the dollar index. That to me now is finished the week as a morning star formation. Okay, there we pushed around there, we had a doji and then a real strong up. And actually, what I did was I took a little tactical trade there on the 4-hour chart as price came back down into the bullish block I was looking at. Okay, looking to get my long trade, and then set up another 4-hour. Okay, key reversal candle there, bullish engulfing, bullish pin bar, and then effectively I traded off that as well. Okay, so I had a second trade there. That was 1555, stops at 1523, so about 32 pips of risk, and then ran it up to the 261, which was in front of the sort of the 200 period moving average, which you can see has acted as nice resistance so far. So that was 1665. So that was 100 pips profit for 32 pips risk. So it's about 3.1 there. So I've had one trade on that, another euro dollar longer trade on that. Okay, it's not a stam trade there at the moment. That's just, let's kind of look at that as kind of bigger picture, working on what's going on with the dollar at the moment. So I think I think the bigger picture is that we might get a little bit of a dollar pause for the summer before the next big trend kicks in, but we'll see about that. I'll just have a quick look at a couple of the others, so I'll just pause this and move across. Just bear with us a second. Alright, so this is dollar Swiss on the daily chart. Okay, so once again it's been a bit of dollar strength, but we had an engulfing candle here. Let's put a cursor on, and then we finished the week on an evening star formation there. Okay, on the daily, so opposite the euro dollar and the dollar index. So something to keep an eye on. Let's have a look at the dollar yen. All right, so if I just go to dollar yen on the weekly chart. Okay, so what I was looking at is that the price has just been coiling up there a little bit for the last few weeks. Okay, and as part of a much bigger. As a part of a much bigger picture, but we had, as I said, the yen has just weakened a little bit this week, and part of that has been as a case of sort of dollar yen. At the start of last week, we were there. Price was in amongst all of the moving averages in the daily chart. So talk about when price and all the moving averages are coiled there together. Then what happens is it's like when you're putting magnets together. Okay, if they're the same polarity, they'll just reject and repel each other, and that's what's happened here. And we kind of run up into this bearish order block. So keep an eye on that. I had a bit of a losing trade on that. It's pushed a little bit higher than I was expecting. So, but there you go. That's the nature of it. But so we've done that there. But if I go down to the hourly chart, I'll show you what I was interested in this when it was starting to sign up here. Okay, and on the hourly chart we had a kind of a nice setup, but it kind of got blown away overnight. Not really a surprise there, a bit of a reaction to probably some of those elements. There's a really nice key reversal there, okay, in the order block, but actually what happened is it pushed up, and then overnight it then put in that evening star formation there. Swiss yen. Okay, let's have a quick look at that. All right, Swiss yen. The reason is it's just shown us that Swiss is supplanting yen to the strong side. But actually, if we look at the weekly chart, we're still below the 50. We were actually just coming out of this bullish order block. Okay, so I had a little trade on that. Okay, so that's hopefully you might be able to see there's kind of an inverse head and shoulders there that has been created there on the daily chart. Okay, that's happening. I look at us in that block now, but kind of trade I had sort of earlier a few days back was as price came into that. It basically it performed a big key reversal there. Okay, pushed to a low, but closed well to its high, and then it triggered its 50% there. But I was exceptionally lucky. I hadn't hit my take stop, but it literally came back down and got to within a couple of pips of my stop at 22. Got close to within that, but then actually it rallied up, and at the end of the week it hit its 261 target. Okay, but I thought that trade might have gone. You've been taken out on that as it rallied its way up. Have a look at Canadian dollar. Let's finish off with that. Okay, so Canadian dollar, price is pushed up there. Okay, but we're overbought. I don't know too much about that, but it has started to turn bearish, and also we've had this bearish key reversal. That's going to be linked to oil, which we're going to have a look at in a moment. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on. I'll be keeping an eye on that. Okay, to see how that plays out, because it was nice. I think I might have mentioned it a few of you last week. It was kind of putting up as a double top last week. Right, that's what we saw, and actually then it rolled off. So there will be opportunity for you there, and that also links into CAD yen has done the same. It's hit a bullish order block and put in a big weekly bullish key reversal there. All right, so take a look at that as you go down into the sort of the lower time frames. It's actually hit and reversed off there really, really nicely there last week. But a lot of that was to do with oil. I think that oil pattern is going to change that oil pattern's going to change a good deal. We'll have a look at that at the moment. You can see obviously there's a bit of a scruffy there, kind of a scruffy inverse head and shoulders, scruffy cup and handle there at an area where we think the market's going to be looking for buyers before it rolls, and then it runs up to the 200 there. Okay, so yeah, nice opportunity there. So let me just have a quick look at finish off with a. So we're starting the week with a bit of dollar strength. I'm just noticing that Kiwi dollar there on the weekly chart is just it's pushed into those kind of new lows there. So let's keep an eye on that. But what I wanted to look at was kind of more commodities here. Let's have a look at oil. So this is kind of interesting. Oil. I'm not a massive trader of oil chart, but what I was looking at was we had this big weekly bearish engulfing key reversal, and I was kind of looking to see okay, what happened when price got up to back into that kind of 50 zone. Right, was there a trade for me? Was there a trade for me there? Okay, and we can see it's actually we just actually it's battered through, especially last week. Okay, it just some moves there have gone on. If I'm honest, I don't actually fully understand why we've had a bit of an oil run up there. Okay, there's tensions have been easing, so to see such a strong oil run is just a bit of a curiosity, shall we say. But I understand that Trump and the Saudis have already spoken and sort of talked about that, so maybe this is a bit of a last push to sort of just wash out some weak hands before it rolls over again. I'd be keeping an eye on that, ladies and gentlemen. Just watch that. With gold, let's see, have I got gold on here? Yeah, we've got gold on it. Okay, so here we go. This is a tale of missing trades here. Just to we get it wrong. So I've been bearish on gold. All right, it was just I wasn't even interested for the first couple of months. All right, I think I did my TV piece about that. How it's just basically been battering back and forth there. Okay, around it. Not really of interest. But then once it broke out of it, there were trades, opportunities, and now we're back down towards a sort of a bullish area, and I'm actually a little bit long here on a very small trade. So look at the daily chart. Okay, these are trades I particularly like, and I'll show you how I missed these trades. All right, even though I was sort of saying that I was expecting price to break out of that area, and price pulled back up here. Right, price pulled back up here. Okay, and I kind of liked it. We've had the moving averages at cross. We're in an area and a zone there, right? And I felt that we had a nice sort of a bearish pin bar there. Okay. And I didn't take the trade because invariably I thought that the 200 would act as support, because it had done for the last while, and I didn't think there'd be enough movement in it there for me. Okay, so but there you go. As you can expect, you see, you can analyze it and still be wrong. All right, price did go, and it really did collapse, even though I had a bearish view. It collapsed. Okay, and then actually what it did is it rallied up again. Then we saw this. I mean, this is a great example here. Okay, of how the daily 200 period moving average can go from being dynamic support to being dynamic resistance, and I missed this trade. I'm not entirely sure what I was doing there on the 14th or the 14th, 15th of June off the top of my head, but I actually missed it, and then invariably the next day it broke and it had gone away, and the price action here wasn't very enticing to sort of bring me in after it already moved that. So there you go. I was bearish, and I missed two great opportunities to get in on the short side. It happens to us all, but I'm down here now. We've had a great run. Okay, if you were short on there and gold, well done to you, fair play to you. All right, and here I have a long trade here, just a bit of a sort of a very, very, very small trade, just to sort of look at the market there. Okay, I like the fact that we're in a bullish order block. Okay, and price come down and it's put in this big engulfing candle key reversal. So I've got my trade's been triggered a little bit of a very small trade at long at 12.49, stops at 12.44, and the target's at 12.61. So it's about risking 5 for $12. So it's about 2.2. 2.2 on the reward to risk. I'm happy that'll give me an indication of where it gives a little bit of a test on that. Why don't I finish off by dollar Mexico? All right, what we got here? This is the weekly chart. All right, of course we have the Mexican we've had the Mexican elections. You know, it's just that's just dollar strength, emerging market pain there. Okay, beautiful. All right, you know, okay, just into a zone there where we had a big weekly engulfing. All right, and and key reversed it before it just launched itself up, and then we had a little bit of that's almost like a flag pattern there. Okay, bullish flag pattern on the daily chart, and not surprisingly, we're now starting to see that. We're starting to see dollar strength coming there. So I'd be keep an eye on if it hits that 20 period moving average, see how it responds there. If it gets above it, then it wouldn't surprise me if we raced the way back up towards 21, or if it basically, if it reverses there, it might give you a little power of 20, sort of very short, sharp tactical trade down to the south side. So just watch how that plays out. So there you go, a little bit of insight for you there, something to get your teeth into, and wish you the best success in your trade, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.